The harsh truth when it comes to your healing journey is that you are not always going to have support, and a lot of times you're going to have to be the biggest supporter that you know. Welcome or welcome back at your favorite mental health specialist, High Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, then that means it's not in the line, which means it is not for you, so don't force it. As well as grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss the harsh truths when it comes to healing yourself, as well as in this video, why it's so important to be your biggest supporter, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and just certain things that you need to be aware of. So starting off with the introduction, starting off with the first disclaimer. If nobody's going to support you when it comes to your healing journey and you becoming the best version of yourself and you accomplishing the goals that you set for yourself, you have to support yourself. Your mom, your dad, your family and friends are not always going to be in your life physically forever. So if you do have support outside of yourself, you have to be grateful and thankful for them and be appreciative, because there's going to be a moment where they are going to leave, they are going to outgrow you, or you're going to outgrow them. And when people leave your life and places and things are no longer connected to you, you still have to be able to move forward. You still have to be able to show up. And I know, because I'm speaking from experience, I have lost one of my parents at the age of 20. This is not for you to sympathize. This is not for you to have empathy towards me, but I'm telling you from experience. You're going to lose people and places and things in your life because it's not guaranteed. There's no age expectancy to life. And on this account, as your favorite mental health specialist who's a naturopathic physician, which means we heal ourselves internally, psychologically, and consciously and subconsciously, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. We're here to be accountable. We're here to be honest. And in order for you to be accountable, in order for you to be honest, you have to be authentic. You have to be real. You have to be direct. You're not always going to have people in your life to support you. You have to be okay with being there for yourself. You have to be okay with having confidence. You have to be okay with trusting yourself. A lot of times it's not the goals, it's not the things that you want that you are afraid of. A lot of times it's yourself. A lot of times it's because of the limited beliefs. It's because of the doubt. It's because of the fear. Because you maybe are looking from validation outside of you to pour into you, to clap for you, to be there for you. You have to learn how to clap for yourself. You have to learn how to be proud of yourself. You have to learn how to motivate yourself. Like I said, if you don't have the resources and the tools and the finances, because what happens when all of those things leave your life? What are you going to do? We're not here to be helpless. I'm not here to be helpless. And that is what has helped me along my healing journey. So the second disclaimer is knowing that if you do have people, like I've stated, who are willing to help you and support you, help them, pour into them. Don't take advantage of them. Do not expect them to always be there for you, because they're not. And if people want to leave your life, and when people do leave your life, you have to allow the relationships to be what they are. Holding on to people and places and things that you've outgrown and that you need to remove yourself from is only going to delay, quote unquote, your success and where you are and where you need to be. And I'm speaking from experience. This doesn't mean that just because my father specifically, who was in my life and poured into me for the time that he did, was in vain, or that I was unappreciative. But when he died, like physically was no longer here, I still had to move up. I still had to show up. I still had to live my life. This doesn't mean that my feelings were not hurt, that I did not care, and that I didn't cry, or I didn't feel any type of way. But I'm telling you, you still have to be there for you. This is why there's this misconception that people think our healing journey is lonely. It's not. If you watch this account, if you want to be successful and you look at all the people who already are, it took them. They got to where they are because of them. Not them waiting on people, not them needing validation. It's because they said, despite their circumstances, despite what they've gone through, they wanted the things that they want. And that's going to be part of the recommendations in the next disclaimer. Now, of course, for those of you who believe in the gods, the ancestors, the universe, take what resonates, leave the rest, because I'm not here to force religion or spirituality. You have them to help you. And if you don't, that's fine. But it's like, if you don't believe in yourself, how are you supposed to get to where you need to be? How are you supposed to accomplish the things that you want? If I didn't believe in myself, how would I be able to make this video to pour it into you? Because the same way we're gonna meet people in our life who are gonna be in our life temporary, like myself, you watching this, to pour into you, is the same way if I have to pour myself. So if I don't pour into myself, you can't watch these videos. You can't get the inspiration and the motivation that you need. It goes both ways. That's why it's so important that when you guys are watching these videos, you're engaging, you're liking, because it needs to go both ways. If you want people to support you, which we'll talk about later in this video, you have to support yourself. Nobody's gonna want to pour into you and to be there for you when you're not there for yourself, because it's not fair. And you have to realize that. That's the third disclaimer. Nobody has to help you if they don't want to. Nobody has to support you. Nobody has to do certain things. So if people are, like I said, be grateful for every person who likes and comments and engage. I'm always grateful for. Everybody else is not important. You have to realize that people have their own problems. People have their own lives. Everybody is not me. Everyone is not a mental health specialist. Everyone is not a therapist. Everyone is not a psychiatrist. A lot of people don't even have the capacity to deal with their own issues and their own trials and tribulations. So you can't expect everyone to be there for you. This is why it's so important that you learn to support yourself. And I've learned this at an early age in life, because I personally do not like to be disappointed. When you really don't like something, you stand on it. And over here, we stand for everything. Because if you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything. And that's what we're not going to be doing. It's 2026. So you have a decision. You can continue to watch this video all the way to the end, or you could stop and send and share this video to somebody who it is. Nobody has time to waste. You supporting yourself is a big deal. That's a big word for Elmo. You cannot take you supporting yourself lightly. You have to be your biggest everything, whether that's financially, emotionally, physically, intuitively, psychologically, however, because there are people in this world that you look up to, that you're inspired by, that you're motivated by, who have done the things that you want to do. It's not impossible. The only difference is, once again, them supporting themselves. Even if, let's just say, you do have the finances, you do have the friends, you do have the 2-parent household, you do have the degrees, you do have the materials, you still have to put in the work. Even if somebody gives you a handout, even if somebody puts you on, in order to maintain the things that you're asking for and sustain the things that you want, you still have to be able to show up. So number 4, you don't have to compare yourself. You don't have to be envious of people. And most importantly, you don't have to feel like you're far and behind in life. Your life is not like everybody else's. Everyone has 24 hours, but everyone's day is not the same. So it's really important that when you're learning to support yourself, you're being mindful of what you do have. You're being mindful of what you can do to make your life better or to accomplish the things that you want. You're being mindful of how you treat yourself and how you treat others. You're being mindful of the things that you don't have, but you can work towards. Because lastly, in order for you to support yourself, you have to want to support yourself. So like I said, my content on this account is not for everybody, because everyone doesn't believe in themselves. Everybody doesn't want to be confident. Everyone doesn't want to support themselves. They don't have to. It's up to you. I'm not here to hold your hand and make you drink the water. You can lean towards the water. You can't make a drink. The water is there. That's why I'm letting you know. It's possible. But if you don't believe it's possible, if you don't want it to be possible, then it's not. I'm not here to waste nobody's time, because you're not going to waste mine, okay? When you love yourself, and that's the first recommendation, you just don't allow anything or anybody to make you feel bad about it. You have to learn how to love yourself in order for you to support yourself, because you're going to go through things in life. And if, like I said, you don't have a therapist or psychiatrist or whatever it is, if you don't believe in God, ancestors, universe, what are you going to believe in? What happens when your family members are not there? What happens when people leave you? What happens when people outgrow you? What happens when people decide to switch up on you? What are you going to do? I didn't expect my father to pass away when he did. I knew eventually he was going to die, but I didn't think it would be as suddenly. What happens now? What are you going to do? Can you still move forward? Can you still show up for yourself? Can you still provide for yourself? So the first recommendation is learning how to love yourself, and how you choose to love yourself. That's for your notes. That's for the comment section. I want you to figure out what it means to love yourself. So I want you to answer and write down on your notes and in the comment section, why do you love yourself? Why do you love yourself? And what does it take to love yourself? Why do you love yourself, and what does it take to love yourself? And the reason why I need you to answer and write down these questions is so therefore, number 2, you focus on the things that make you feel good about yourself, and you get rid of the distractions that are not on your list in the comment section. If it doesn't make you feel good about yourself, if it doesn't uplift you, if it doesn't pour into you, if it doesn't finance you, if it doesn't educate you, why are you watching it? Why are you engaging? Why are you supporting it? You can't make excuses in order for you to support yourself. I'm not here to make excuses, and you're not here to make excuses either. Once again, is my content for this account everyone gonna watch? No. But for those of you who are watching, like I said, I'm thankful and I'm grateful. I don't have time. If I know certain things don't make me feel good about myself, I don't need to engage. If I know certain people, places, and things don't make me feel confident or allow me to be myself without being in a competition or comparison or trying to humble, I don't have time for it. You loving yourself is not a crime. You supporting yourself is not a crime. You wanting the best for yourself is not a crime. The only people who think it's a crime for you to pour into yourself, to put yourself first, or to be there for you is people who need validation. It's people who need attention. It's people who don't support themselves. Once again, it's nothing wrong with people supporting you. It's nothing wrong with people liking and commenting and engaging and saying thank you. Like, that's what you should do. When you support yourself, you can support other people. Like, that's the gag. But you don't need it. It's different when you appreciate it. Like, I'm not posting content because people are leaving millions and trillions of comments and saying how much they like, I'm doing this for me. And now, of course, like I said, the community, the people who genuinely appreciate me, yes, I'm also doing it for them. But I wouldn't have people saying thank you and liking and commenting, engaging and booking a service in a session and following me if I didn't support myself. You can't expect, because also too, when people don't support themselves, they're not going to support you. So a lot of people talk about how the closest people to them don't support them. They don't support themselves. You can't expect people who don't show up for themselves to show up for you. I can't expect a hater to like or comment or engage when they hate themselves. Be for real. You supporting yourself is for you, because you're not always going to have all the tools and all the resources. You may not always have everything figured out. So the fourth recommendation when it comes to you supporting yourself, once you figure out why you love yourself and what you're able to do to love yourself, and you're making the changes to focus on the people and the places and things to pour into you, is to practice self-love, is to practice supporting yourself. Is making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who have the same energy. If you're confident like myself, if you're a go-getter, if you're somebody who has goals and dreams, you cannot surround yourself moving forward with people who don't feel the same way. Like, if people can't accept you for who you are without trying to challenge you or change you or humble you or belittle you, you cannot converse with them. You cannot keep watching them. You cannot have conversations with them. You cannot. Because what happens is, when you're full of yourself, which is not a negative thing, when you love yourself, when you think highly of yourself, when you put yourself first, when you support yourself, once again, all the people who cannot meet you where you are going to feel triggered, are going to feel some type of way, and they're going to project and deflect. And I'm speaking from experience. I've met so many people who had parasocial relationships with me. I had to remove myself from them and ignore them and not pay them no mind, not because I was better than them, but because they were not in alignment with me. I don't want to surround myself with people who are insecure. I don't want to surround myself with girls who have to compare themselves to other girls. I don't want to surround myself with men who try to make me feel envious. Like, you're weak, you're insecure, and that's not my problem. That's not my issue. I don't need to feel bad. I'm not watering myself down, even in my videos, to make you feel comfortable. I'm not here to make you feel palatable. You're either going to step your weight up or you're going to move to the side. I support myself. You have to have so much confidence within yourself. So therefore, when you do support yourself, it's not an issue. That's the flex. That's the goal. You don't have to do everything by yourself, like I said, because eventually, moving forward, now that we talked about the recommendations, when you learn how to support yourself, the right people can support you. So all the time, all the energy that I poured into myself, like I said, the people who like, the people who comment, the people who book service and sessions, the people who pour into me, they're the right people. You don't want just anybody around you. When you support yourself, you want people who are on the same level. So all the women that I'm around me right now, they're go-getters. They're about their money. They're about their business. They're about their health. They take care of themselves. The men that I'm having to work with, collab with, they're respectful. They're not lustful. They're not egotistical. They're not rude. They're gentlemen. All the people that I'm collaborating with, businesses, I'm able to network and be in rooms and environments with people who carry themselves the same way. Everybody else, you don't matter. You never will. All tea, all shade. That's what the kids like to say. All the people who have negative things to say, babe, nobody cares. life's gonna go on. Everyone's gonna have an opinion. You don't always have to agree. You don't have to like. And most importantly, I'm not asking anybody who doesn't want to be here to be here. Like I said, I don't know why people. I mean, I do know why. People need attention. But it's like when you support yourself, you don't need attention. You should want, the right people to pour into you. You shouldn't like demand it. Because lastly too, you can't expect people to do certain things for you when you can't do them yourself. Because what happens is when you want certain things from people that you're not able to give to yourself, a lot of times these people will manipulate you. Excuse me, confirmation. People will manipulate you, people will try to control you, and people will try to break you down. All the people and the places and things who thought that I needed them or I wasn't able to do certain things without them, like I said, I removed myself from them immediately. Like they were the most graudiest, the most demeaning, and the most grating group of people I've ever had encounter. And that's why once I clocked and I scoped the scenery, I had to remove myself. I don't ever want anybody to feel like if it wasn't for me liking your video, you wouldn't know. If it wasn't for me posting the video, you wouldn't be able to like it. Like, I can't stand people like that. And I've met, like I said, so many people who be like, well, if it wasn't for me, and I don't want to be around you. I will mop the ocean with a broom before I let anybody think that I need them. This is why it's so important to support yourself, because you don't want to be disappointed and you don't want people to manipulate you. People will try to manipulate you and control you if they feel like you can't move on. Like, that's what narcissistic people do. Now, if you never dealt with narcissistic people, if you never dealt with people that were controlling, you never had these experiences, good for you. But a lot of people have. And it starts with your family members. It starts with your friends. It's even your significant others. Never let anybody feel like you need them other than God, ancestors, and the universe. And even when you believe in the God, ancestors, and universe, there's a certain boundary. Like, you have to have a certain level of faith and conviction to walk with that instead of sight. So with that being said, thank you guys for liking and engaging like always, as well as letting me know what you need to work on, what you need to resonate with. Follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. Once again, when you guys follow me on Instagram and on TikTok for the month of April, I will be going live talking about these things in real time so I can answer you guys' questions. If you haven't already, answer the questions in the comment section. And if you want a more intimate, confidential, relaxed setting and vibe, make sure you book your service and your session by clicking the description. My website is down below, and drop the word website whenever you're ready for your appointment, okay? You're not alone. I love you. You are loved. Until next time, peace. Thanks for watching.